So, J. Ruud, what lovable book are we talking about today?
Well, Stacey Margaret Jones, I'll give you a hint. The South Central Pacific and Mexican Railway.
Welcome to Between the Covers, the podcast in which author J. Ruud shares one lovable novel from his carefully curated list of the 100 most lovable novels in the English language each week. And I, author Stacey Margaret Jones, ask him about it and share my own random opinions. Try and stop me. Okay. So I do not know. I mean, clue, I think, is overstating what you just gave me. What's another clue?
Oh, here's another clue. Augustus Melmotte.
Have I read this book?
I'm pretty sure no.
Oh, okay. No shame. Well, that's clue number 3.
Well, let's try Anthony Trollope.
Oh, but I haven't read it.
Nope.
It's an Anthony Trollope book?
Yeah, so that's kind of a gimme clue.
Quite a clue. Well, that's like the Lexus with the giant bow on it clue at the holidays. I don't know. I mean, I've read some of the Plantagenet novels, but I don't know what this is. So why don't you share?
This is Anthony Trollope's novel, The Way We Live Now.
Oh, all right. Well, that's kind of a surprise to me that it made its way onto your list.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, before we talk about more of the ins and outs, why don't you tell us a few of the details, the factoids? When did this novel come out?
Well, like Dickens and other Victorian novelists, Trollope wrote many of his novels for periodical publication. So they were first
serialized.
published in one section at a time, in the serial installments. And the fact was, the more serial installments you had, the more money you would get.
Oh, so the longer it was, you were motivated.
Anthony Trollope never met an 800-page novel he didn't like.
No, that's the glorious thing about Trollope, because if you like the novel, it's great. You're going to be there a while.
You're going to be a while.
You can stay.
Yeah. So, in fact, it was published serially from February 1874 to September 1875.
Oh, that's later than I thought. Okay.
But actually, the serialized editions were so disappointing to the publisher that he brought the book out in a 2-volume edition in July of 1875. So, like 2 months before it was done being serialized, which was kind of a...
He cannibalized his own market.
Yeah.
That's
it was
interesting.
A very unusual, if not unheard of thing to do.
That sounds like an emotional, like a payback move
or something.
Something where he got a deal on the press or something and he was like, I'm going to do it now.
Yeah.
Interesting. All
he
right.
wanted to see if he could get some money out of it before he lost more.
Yeah, he needed to get his money back.
So this was actually one of the last serialized novels.
Oh, okay.
Maybe partly because of that.
Oh, interesting. All right. And it is long?
896 pages in its printed form in the Modern Library paperback edition.
Well,
if you listen to it, it's 32 hours and 25 minutes long.
All right. I have a Trollope novel on my TBR cedar chest, my to-be-read cedar chest with all my books that I want to read someday. It's one of the Plantagenet books, though, because those are the ones that I've read.
Yeah, he's got that series, and then he's got the Barchester Towers series. But this is a standalone
Okay.
novel.
Well, it's long enough to do so.
Yeah, it can stand there a long time.
That's what's so funny about the Plantagenet novels, though. They're long, and then there's part of a series. But, but I mean, they're all standalone. I've read them out of order because they all, first of all, I forget what happened to the other ones, but also they obviously, if you have a book that long, you get into the world of it pretty well. But they're so enjoyable that you kind of fall in and you're happy to stay a while. So who else likes this book?
It's interesting that the book really didn't sell well. It was considered a failure when it first came out.
It's called The Way We
The
Live
Way We Live
Now.
Now. Much later, in the 1940s, people started considering it a classic.
Well, we've talked about that before on the
Yeah.
podcast, though. What a book came out and nothing happened, and now it's part of the canon.
Then
or
suddenly,
whatever.
65 years later, it
Yeah.
becomes,
Yeah.
oh, this is a great novel. And then, Trollope was kind of, in scholarly circles, somebody you didn't write about.
Right.
Until
He was too enjoyable.
Probably. But, I mean, you wanted to talk about serious writers like,
Right.
like Dickens or George Eliot. Or even Thackeray.
Mm-hmm.
But sometime like the later 1980s and into the 1990s, suddenly Trollope became somebody that scholars got interested in again. And so his reputation nowadays is completely resurged.
He's definitely respectable.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
But anyway, to talk about who else loves this book, it was on the Guardian list and the Observer list of the top 100 novels. It was on the BBC list of the 100 greatest British novels, where it comes in as number 64. It appears in the Daily Mail's list of 100 novels to change your life.
Wow. Goodness.
Barnes & Noble's 50 books to read before you die. And maybe the most interesting, in June of 2009, Newsweek magazine issued a list of the 50 books of our times, which they claimed open a window on the times we live in. And it included The Way We Live Now.
That seems like it might fit the list.
Well, except that, that was 1875.
I know,
and
but
this was
it's just a funny book to have on a list about how we lived.
This was June of 2009.
Sure.
And on that list, it came in as number 1.
Wowzer. Well, that's interesting because, we've seen that with other books that somehow they seem like they're always relevant, right? Like, we think we're in these unprecedented times, and then you pick up a 150-year-old book, and it has as much to tell you as anything else.
Yeah. This book, it's exactly 150 years old.
I did the maths. I can not only write, I'm also a mather.
I know. I'm impressed. But yeah, exactly 150 years ago.
Yeah.
It's September of 1875 is when it finished its serial.
That's fascinating. Had you read it before you read it for your project?
No.
Oh, okay. Because, you just said Trollope, and I was like, I can't think of anything except the Plantagenet. I knew he had another series, but I couldn't remember the name of it because I haven't read those. So this just did not come to mind. Did you get it from your compilation of some of those other lists? So that's where it surfaced for you?
Yeah, because it is on. I did look at the Guardian list and the Observer list, and it was on both of those.
Yeah. Have you read other Trollope books?
A couple.
Okay.
And there are a few other Trollope books that appear on different lists, but this is the one that gets the most
common
attention.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Common denominator.
Yeah.
All right. Well, why don't you give us the down and dirty summary?
Okay. Well, this is a book about commercial enterprise and about people whose only goal is to make a lot of money and through that gain a lot of power. And it focuses especially on a particular financial flim-flam man named Augustus Melmotte and a particular kind of scam that he's in the midst of, which is a kind of a railroad boondoggle. This great South Central Pacific and Mexican Railway, and what happens to him and to the people around him as a result of this scam by the flim-flam man.
So its themes are investigating capitalism.
Yeah.
What successful capitalism means for the quality of human existence.
Yeah, and historically, 1873, as you might recall from your American history classes, was the year of what they called at the time, the Great Depression.
Oh, yeah.
And that was
I
only
actually recall that
succeeded-
from reading about Laura Ingalls Wilder.
Yeah, and that was only, I mean, they stopped calling it that in 1929 when they had an even greater depression.
When 1929 said, "Hold my beer."
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But 1873, there was a worldwide
Yes.
depression.
Yep.
And it was caused by a lot of things, but one of the chief things was people investing in these big projects that turned out to be not financially sound.
So
and many of
schemes.
those were railroads.
Oh. Well, that's interesting because we've watched The Gilded Age.
Yeah.
And he's what's
He's
his
trying to
face?
build a
Russell.
railroad.
George Russell is
Yeah.
trying to build this railroad across the nation
Yeah,
and buy up individual companies and land rights and everything.
yeah. Though he seems to be honest.
He seems to be really trying to do it.
But this
Yeah.
does seem to, I mean, I think that's taking place in 1873. I think it's
1870s, I think, is when
yeah,
they've said
because
it.
this depression actually starts a financial panic.
Yes.
And banks
Right.
are losing their capital. There's like $40 million in U.S. banks in 1873, and suddenly that's reduced to 17 million. But it also is going on in Britain and in France and some other
Yeah.
parts of the world for the financial collapse in one place
Right.
contributes to
Yeah,
financial
I mean, they're
collapse
not
elsewhere.
isolated.
Yeah.
However much they like to think they are, they're never isolated enough.
Yeah.
But-
So one of the reasons this may not have been popular when it came out in 1875 is it was kind of old news by then. He started serializing it in 1873, but by 1875, people were sick of it.
Right.
Even though
They didn't want to talk about it
even though
anymore.
there was still a depression
Yeah.
going on, and especially in Britain and France
Yeah, yeah.
until like 1877 or
Yeah.
so.
Well, you can see that a little bit in the Wilder family. They don't have a bank. They don't have cash really much. I mean, they sell things and get a little cash and spend it on stuff. They do a
Yeah.
lot of trading, and like you can see it's probably by necessity, right? That they don't, banking isn't for the little people,
Yeah.
or they don't trust it either for a good reason. So, because it's not for them, it's
Yeah.
for the rich people.
Also, that Newsweek article that I mentioned came out in 2009.
Oh,
So it's right,
what was happening
right
then?
after the 2008
Yeah.
financial crisis,
Yeah.
caused by the same sorts of things
Right.
that are
Right.
depicted in the novel.
Right. Exactly. And also, I mean, it brings to mind that Elvis Costello line, which is brokers who break everything. Right? It's like we don't have to do this to ourselves, but we do, right? It's not like a meteor hit the earth and we had, 5 years of crop failures. It's financial shenanigans and
Yeah.
fandangos.
Yeah.
And they don't have to happen like that.
Yeah.
So this goes to a kind of human condition. If your system is capitalistic, then you're going to have these, right?
Yeah.
And that's why it might have a kind of evergreen appeal.
Yeah. Especially if you have people like Augustus Melmotte.
The Flim Flam Man.
Yeah. He comes to London. Nobody knows where from. Somewhere on the continent.
Which you
And-
could do then because you didn't have all these identification and
Yeah.
background checks. And
Yeah.
like you could just show up and say you were something.
Yeah. And that's kind of interesting because apparently there was a financial crisis in Austria shortly before 1873 that seems to have maybe been the spark that ignited all this
effect.
other stuff.
Yeah.
And that's where Augustus Melmotte is coming from somewhere in Central Europe. So maybe the implication is that he's fled there
Right.
because of what he's done in the past.
Maybe he started the whole thing.
It's possible.
Oh,
But he
interesting.
gets to London and he seems to have a lot of money. And he encourages this reputation that he may be like the richest man
Yeah.
in the world. And nobody ever sees much of that money. So You don't really know if he's rich or if he's just pretending to be.
Okay, this sounds fascinating. And there's documentaries on Netflix about people who are doing these kinds of scams now, even in this age where you should be able to check on people, right? That, they run up their credit cards for a while, they pay for everybody for a while, so everybody thinks they're loaded, and then pretty soon you're paying for everything. Oh, my card is tied up in a banking issue with my castle and blah. Can you pay for this? And I mean, people do it for all kinds of reasons, but they're still running the same scam. I look rich.
Yeah.
Therefore, you believe me when I try to get your money.
Yeah.
So he's trying to get people to invest in a railroad?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the main thread of the plot.
Okay.
It's one that this group of investors in California have started, but they want to start a branch in England and get investors there to invest in the.
Oh, sure.
But it seems like the guys in California are crooked too. One of the characters who's involved in both the California and the London headquarters of this organization is a guy by the name of Paul Montague. He was the original investor in the South Central Pacific and Mexican Railway, and then he's on the board of directors in London. And he's the only one of the people on this board of directors who've all been kind of handpicked because they may have a title or something. And they're all completely gullible. They're just there for show and to give their name to this thing that people are going to invest in. Right. Paul is the only one who ever questions Melmotte about anything because he has these meetings and he never tells them anything in detail. Right. And Paul keeps wanting to get at the details, but he can't because Melmotte won't tell him anything.
Red flag, red flag.
Yeah, duh.
So is the plot of the book that he's running the scam and that people find out or that they're harmed by it? Or, I mean, what's the main...
Yeah, there's a lot going on in this 100-chapter book. But Melmotte wants to be, the big cheese and decides that he's going to run for a seat in Parliament.
Oh, sure. For
Westminster as a Conservative candidate. He has no political experience, but figures that money can buy anything.
Well, where's the lie?
Maybe, especially political influence. So he knows absolutely nothing about government. He knows absolutely nothing about how Parliament is supposed to work. But as a recognized star of the business world, he and other gullible people figure that he must know how to govern the country.
I don't understand that patina or that aura that translates from business to governance, because you wouldn't say, oh, hey, here, business mogul, do my brain surgery for me.
Yeah.
Or, hey, here, business mogul, represent me in my divorce. And yet somehow people who know how to do business are supposed to know how to do government when they have completely different purposes and roles to play in community life.
Yeah. But there are...
But it's nice to know that's been going on forever.
Clearly. There are those who believe that government should be run like a business. Right. Well. Which means that the purpose of government is to make money, apparently. Which
it isn't.
No.
Government, to my mind, government does things for the community that aren't done for profit.
Exactly.
And there are things, I personally believe, that should be outside of profitable spheres, like healthcare, or like education, right? Things that people need for quality of life. And once you start introducing profit, we know who pays.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting to me that this has been, this is an issue.
For 150 years.
Because it's endemic to capitalism.
Yeah. So anyway, it turns out, as you might expect, he gets elected. He's...
How did I know?
That it turns out pretty badly.
Don't spoil it. I might want to read it.
Yeah,
I like Trollope.
He shows up drunk to Parliament and makes a speech, and it's pretty crazy.
Okay.
Ultimately, he is exposed. There's another minor character who's a nobleman. He's a titled fellow, and it comes out that Melmotte has forged his signature on something.
The nobleman's?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is he House of Lords or?
No, I think his father
Oh, okay.
is. But
Oh, okay.
anyway, his father doesn't want to do anything because his father
Right.
thinks, Melmotte hung the moon. But he's like, this ain't right because he sold my place I own before he had possession of it, which
Right.
And anyway, that is the chink that starts to bring Melmotte down.
Okay.
But Melmotte thinks, in spite of that he's still going to get out of this.
They always do.
Yeah, it's because this is a quote from the book. It is the small vermin and the little birds that are trapped at once. But wolves and vultures can fight hard before they are caught. With the means which would still be at his command, let the worst come to the worst, he could make a strong fight. When a man's frauds have been enormous, there is a certain safety in their very diversity and proportions.
Yeah, it's like the bigger the scam, the less likely people are to believe it.
Or for there to be any consequences
Right.
at all for
And
the person.
possibly because of the idea of sunk costs. We're so invested in this, it has to be okay.
Yeah.
But also, obviously, this is very typical narcissism. Just
That's
he's
true.
such a narcissistic character.
Yeah.
I can, based on how you're describing him, and Trollope seems to have nailed it quite well because the narcissists always think that they're unique and special, and they're all just doing the same things from the same playbook, right?
Yeah.
They think nobody is like them, and they're all alike. Which is like, that makes me laugh so much when you see somebody behaving like that, and you're like, you think you're so special, but you're just doing these predictable things from the same list of things.
But in some way, he is right about being too big to fail. You might
Yes.
say.
Well, we had a documentary about that after the crash, the 2008 crash.
And how many bankers and stockbrokers went to jail after 2008?
I think, was it 0.0?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's
It wasn't a
what
non-zero number.
No.
It was a zero number. Yes, exactly. Yeah, and that's also seems to be a feature of society. So who's the main character? Is it...
Well, Melmotte is the focus of everything.
But he's not an anti-hero, right? Because you're not rooting.
No, you're definitely not rooting for him. Well, some of the characters are because
Sure. They're invested literally and figuratively.
Yeah, but there are other characters that get involved with him who are kind of the people that Trollope keeps focusing on. And there's a woman.
He's so good at that.
In
Building all
particular-
these characters and their interlinking lives.
Yeah.
He's so good at that.
The character that actually begins the book, the one you focus on in the first chapter, is a woman named Lady Carberry. And she's very important throughout the book. She's a widowed author whose books are essentially trash, but she seeks, through her connections with 3 newspaper editors in particular, whom she flirts outrageously. She wants to have her books reviewed positively in their periodicals so that she can sell some of them to help with her income because she's been left almost penniless by her husband. So put simply, she does not desire to write good books, but books that are reputed to be good.
Oh, which is, I guess, part of the theme of the book, which is it good or is it just seem good?
Yeah. What's the face that you can put on things?
Right.
And so she's another character that does that. She's got a son who's a pretty worthless character named Felix Carberry. And technically he's a viscount. He's on the board for the railroad.
Oh, okay.
But he has no property because he's gambled away every penny that his father left him. And he's trying to burn through everything his mother can give him too. he's
set your goals high.
he's kind of the extreme example of almost every young man in the book, because except Paul, they're all involved in gambling. This is a pastime for, landed gentlemen or titled gentlemen at their club. They spend their time gambling and giving each other IOUs.
Well, I mean, that was part of the Duchess of Devonshire's problem 100 years before that, because that was a pastime of the nobility.
Yeah.
But it's such a slippery slope, because pretty soon you owe a lot of money.
Yep.
And especially in these situations where there isn't, the actual resources to back the risks they're taking.
Yeah. And he's exactly the sort of young man that Melmotte wants on his board, because his title gives it...
He seems to be...
Yeah, his title gives it a glow of respectability, but his gullibility makes it easy for him to
He's perfect.
get away with just about anything.
He's perfect.
And Lady Carberry wants him to marry Melmotte's daughter. Melmotte's daughter is at least reputed to be the wealthiest possible bride in Europe.
So in this case, they're in a hole and they're going to keep digging.
Well, Melmotte's daughter, all the young men are interested in trying to marry her. This is the way Trollope puts it. In such families as his, when such results have been achieved, it is generally understood that matters shall be put right by an heiress. You got to marry a woman who's got money.
Right.
It has become an institution like primogeniture, and is almost as serviceable for maintaining the proper order of things.
Well, that's at a period of time when British nobility and landed gentry, etc., were marrying American heiresses.
Yeah.
For the cash.
Yep. And that's what Lady Carberry wants.
Right. Because they needed that because of the shift in the foundation of their economic systems.
Yeah.
From agrarian and landholding, turning that into income, right? They're tenant farmers and all that stuff. The Industrial Revolution was changing all of that. And yet they still were living in these situations that they needed to fund.
Yeah.
So,
and there's a heck of a lot of them that have lost their fortune by gambling.
Yes.
And Felix is
one of them.
One of those.
Okay.
And he's not crazy about marrying her. He doesn't really love her. He does kind of get to know her a little bit and realize she's actually a pretty nice person. And she actually has money herself that she can get, that Melmotte has put in her name, and he's done that so that he can have money that isn't technically his,
but no one can come and
no
get
one
it.
Can come and get when he's done something, dirty.
There's a reason.
But she, and he thinks she's stupid and will just sign anything. But she's been paying attention to what she signed and realizes she has £20,000 that's in her name. So. If had he married her, it might have worked out for him.
Right.
But anyway, we won't talk about what happens there. Lady Cadbury also has a daughter who she wants to marry to their cousin.
Whose cousin?
The Carberry's cousin.
Oh, okay.
Roger Carberry, who didn't get the title, but did get the land.
Oh, whoops.
So he's got the land.
So he's got the resources.
So she wants
the capital.
She wants her daughter to marry him.
Right.
And he actually would love that, but he's like 20 years older than her, which is disgusting.
Anything over 19 years is just
exactly
bizarre.
But he would be happy with that, and she likes him well enough, but she's not in love with him. She's in love with Paul, the other guy on the board who had the investment in California, but he has no money.
Right. There you go.
And he's not going to get any from this investment.
Well, let's talk a little bit more then about why this book is on your list. Like, what's lovable about it?
I think it's so kind of universal, as you said. This kind of financial flimflammery is very relatable probably no matter what time you live, but sometimes even more so than others.
Right.
So, I mean, there's that. It's hard to say whether it's a tragedy or a comedy.
Is it a dramedy?
I mean, there is a lot of humor in it.
Yeah, that's one reason Trollope's enjoyable is he is, to me, Woodhouse is like really funny Trollope because it is definitely of a certain, it's about class, right? And British manners and customs within class systems. And it's funny, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's enjoyable in that way. It's not this, like, 800-page slog, right, to this big message. It's like, what are these people doing? And you laugh, when you're reading it. It's a good time.
Or you're really frustrated. I mean,
yes.
Every time Felix appeared, I would get this, like,
pit in your stomach,
squeezing in my guts because everything he did was so wrong all the time. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I didn't find him that funny.
No, but I'm saying Trollope
would.
is funny. Like, there's humor in Trollope.
Yeah, there is.
But he also, I think what you're saying, too, about, you get this anxiety when Felix is in the scene, so to speak, is because the characters are very real.
Yeah.
It's also like Eliot. Like, you go into the book and you're in it.
Yeah.
And everything feels very well imagined and complete, and you can really see it, and you can imagine those people, and they seem very real to you.
Yeah.
You feel real.
Yeah. But it is kind of a tragedy if you look at it as sort of the tragedy of Melmotte.
No spoilers.
Well, I mean, in a tragedy, the main character falls, usually as a result of his own, some would say tragic flaw, but sometimes it's just his own foolish actions. But in a way, it's also kind of a comedy in the classical sense.
In terms of building a new world order.
Exactly,
Okay.
because if Melmotte's eliminated, that's the chief blocking figure, and those who survive afterwards to build the new society once he's out of the picture. Characters mainly that you had a more sympathetic view of.
Yeah. You want them to succeed and live a happy life.
Yeah. Although, of course, most of the people are still vicious and foolish, which are the two big sins of comedy. There's another character that I found just really interesting. Paul has a former fiancée that he's broken up with, named Mrs. Winifred Hurtle.
So she's married to somebody else, or was she a widow?
She is supposedly a widow.
Oh, okay.
But there are all these rumors about her. One is that she shot a man in Oregon. Another is that she has a husband still living in Texas, and she follows him to England, even though he's like written her and told her that the engagement has to be off. So he's in this predicament from his own kind of foolish actions in proposing to her, and it all gets involved in the plot with Henrietta, the daughter of Mrs. Cadbury, who wants to marry him, or he wants to marry her, and she's ready to break it off. And her cousin Roger Carberry, who owns the land and who wants to marry her, knows the truth about what's happened, and should he or shouldn't he do something about it, and what should he do about it? So there are all these kinds of subplots going on.
Okay.
Which is part of what makes it lovable.
Okay, I was going to say, you're talking a lot about the plot, but why is it enjoyable to read? And I guess it's the plot.
Everything ultimately comes back to interweave with everything else.
Yeah.
And
okay.
that's kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, it's satisfying to see how things can get brought back to...
Yeah. That and, the characters like Mrs. Hurtle is a particularly interesting character. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think the character, he's good at imagining these people and creating these people that are interesting, even if you don't like them. They interest you.
Yeah, certainly don't like Felix, but
No. All right. Well, anything else that's lovable about it?
I think ultimately it's very satisfying as well as being applicable.
I think satisfying is a good descriptor of Trollope because you're in this, you're reading a long time. Maybe you read a lot of books in the series, and each one is going to come to an end and you're going to be okay with it because he is really masterful at sending out all these things and then they come back. And the people, it really does show we're all in this together.
Yeah.
And he illustrates it with how they interact and impact each other.
Yeah. And this is the way we live now.
This is the way we live now. 150 years ago and today.
Yeah.
All right. Well, why might someone not like the way we live now?
You might not like how long it is.
Maybe not. If you don't like long books, you might not enjoy it. But if
Yeah.
you like a book to get into and stay there, then you would. But
Yeah.
some people just don't want to do that.
But some people might not like its picture of the commercial society.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I may
But
not like the criticism,
yeah.
the implied criticism. All right. Well, what number on the list?
Okay, I'm going to put this.
How many total is this?
This
52
is our
or 53?
53rd book.
Okay, 53. All right. So we have 53 total books on the list.
Yeah. I'm putting this at number 45.
Oh, okay. So it's on the list, but
It's between your favorite Moby Dick and Sinclair Lewis's Babbitt.
oh, okay.
Which is kind
it-
of also
it travels with Babbitt.
Yeah.
They're
sort
they're
of
commenting
Yeah.
on the world.
yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you.
Okay. So do we have anything else to do? Oh, wait. There's Chaos Reader.
Well, in a truly chaotic form, like I did last week, I have non-book, it's okay. Like I did last week, I have something that's more watching than reading. Because I wanted to mention this, I'm very sequential, unstructured. And the New York Times came out with a list earlier this year of the 100 best films of the 21st century so far, because we're 25 years in. So they said, let's do 100 films. And so we started watching it.
So that's like 4 a year.
Yeah, I don't think they apportioned it that way. They had people, actors and people involved in the film industry vote. It wasn't just, some critics
The
saying,
unwashed.
these are the... What?
It wasn't just the great unwashed.
It wasn't the great unwashed. It wasn't Fred's Insurance. It was just, some blogger in their basement shooting TikToks. It was, people involved and voting on the ballots and everything. And so actually the way it's presented in the New York Times is really interesting because you can see, like, they'll highlight someone who voted for that movie and then you can see their whole ballot and read about who that, anyway, we started from 100. So I know what number one is because I read about it at the time, but we started at 100. That was super bad, I think.
I didn't think it was so bad.
So we started 100 with Superbad, and we've been watching through those. And then our grandsons were with us last weekend, so we watched number 96, which was Black Panther, which was perfect because they could watch it.
Because 11-year-old boys like that movie.
They like that movie, and they'd seen it before. But to me, that is also a mark of a great film, is one that you can watch again and see more things in. So we saw that in the theater, but I hadn't seen it since, and so it was good to watch again. So we're going to watch through that list, and I've really enjoyed it because, it just has a short paragraph of commentary, but then you can read more about each film from the New York Times story, and it's kind of a good resource, I think, for films, for recent films, and it's been really interesting, so I highly recommend.
All right.
All right. Well, we'd like to thank you for listening this week, and we'd like to thank our producing sensei, Jerry Bruno, who does the art for our YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube and things there, but also on whatever channel you listen or watch. Please continue to do so. Share us with your book-loving friends and interact on our platforms. That helps other people find our podcast. And we'd like to thank all of our listeners. We really do appreciate you, and we'll see you next week.
Between the covers.